What's wrong with this picture? If you say, nothing, that's a beautiful car, well, you probably wouldn't be wrong, but as the owner of the car, there's one thing that's always bothered me, and that's these lights right here. They're they're really not as cool as the rest of the car is, and I'd like to fix that. So here you have that light removed from the car and on my desk here. And what we have here is a couple of lights mounted on a steel bar. One of them is the running light, and the other one is the turn signal. And it's kind of heavy and bulky, and it's got this cheap plastic covering on the outside. Really, it's really weak. It's broken, and on some of the other lights on the car, it's broken even worse. Really needed to do something about that, and decided that the right thing to do is just redesign the whole part. So here's what I've come up with. What I did was I 3D printed this and then wrapped it in carbon fiber for strength and appearance, and designed it from the ground up myself, and pretty happy with how it came out. My goals were to have it be aerodynamic, use LED lights, and to not have any visible screws on it. I also wanted it to mount to the stock mount and use the stock plug for the electrical, so no modifications to the car itself. It could always be switched back. And it turned out that this replacement part is less than half the weight of the original, so pretty happy with that. Here it is all taken apart. So what we have here is the lens that goes on the front. It's kind of opaque, it's not perfectly clear. And this is the arm that holds it on. This is printed with carbon fiber nylon filament, which is super strong and light. And then, of course, wrapped with carbon for appearance and more strength. This is the main light fixture, and it holds the light and the lens and everything together. And inside of it, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little black box there, and that's the electronics that handle the lights. So if you've got the running lights on and you hit the turn signal, it switches from one to the other, and it works great. So that's cool. And this is the little piece with a spiral-shaped groove in it for the LED strip light to live in. So the way it works is this arm slips in, and there's a clamp there where that screw is, and that tightens it up, and it's 3D printed with threads that work really good. So that tightens down on the arm, and it holds it really solid. This is just a little electronic piece that prevents the flashers from going really fast because it is LED lights. Something you got to do. So I wanted to show you how I designed it. I designed this thing on a free software called Tinkercad, and that's what we're looking at here. This is the basic design of the whole thing. It does not include some of the details, but you get the idea. This is pretty close to final. And then here is the final of the whole thing, except for the arm and the mount. On the front, here's the lens. I'm going to make that disappear. And then you can see the other two parts. There's the spiral light holder inside of the main part of this light. And I've got it transparent so you can see all the threaded parts and stuff. And let's see, there's the main light. I'm going to make that disappear so you can see the whole thing. That's the finished part. It took a lot of time to get this done, but it was a lot of fun. It's challenging. And once you've got, a part that's ready to go, next step is to 3D print it. So here's the printer on a time-lapse video printing out the lens that goes on the front. This was about an hour and a half print job that you're going to see here in about 20 seconds. Prints don't always come out perfect on the first try, but try again. Here's the printer working on the main part of the light. This is fast forwarded. It doesn't actually quite move that fast in normal prints. And after about 4 hours, here's your finished part on the print bed. And then this is the carbon fiber nylon material that I used for the arm, the arm and the mount. Once you've got your parts printed out, the next thing to do is wrap it in carbon fiber and vacuum bag it down so it's strong. And here I've got the carbon fiber material with some spray glue on it so it'll stick to the part. And I'm going to stick it on there and get it right, maybe trim it a bit. And then I've got some blocks that go on the inside to protect it from collapse. And then the next step is going to be to mix up the two-part resin. You put your gloves on to do that, and then put the resin on the part itself. Brush that on, get it everywhere, and then get it ready to put inside the vacuum bag. Will happen after the resin goes on. This is some perforated release film that goes on, and then after that will be the breather cloth, and this is all part of the vacuum bagging process. And then all of this goes inside wax paper, and then inside the vacuum bag, seal up the vacuum bag, and then attach the vacuum hose, and then pull the vacuum down, leave it for about 8 to 12 hours, and then this is what you get. The purple part is a plug that I had to put on there, and there's parts like that all the way on the inside to protect it from the vacuum bag crushing the part, because the bag's really strong. And here's how I learned that the hard way. My first try, smashed it. So the parts come out of there looking pretty good, but not nearly finished. You can see here, this is fresh out of the bag. It's going to need a lot of finish work, and that mostly means sanding, and sanding, and more sanding. This is my least favorite part of a project like this, but it's necessary. So there's sanding after it comes out of the vacuum bag. You get that fixed, and then you might have some little repairs to do, and then finally it gets good enough, and then I want to clear coat it, and so I spray the clear coat on, and then of course that's got imperfections in it, and it requires sanding and more clear coat and more sanding, and yeah, I think you get the gist. Lots of sanding. I sanded till my fingers bled, but that's what you got to do if you want it to look good. So the final step is to paint the clear coat on, and what I was going for here was not a super high gloss finish, but and not a flat finish either, but a semi gloss, and that's what I've done. I'm pretty happy with how that came out. At some point, you just got to say enough already, and be done with it. So I'm happy with it. Here it is on the car. Obviously, the old lights on the left side of the car, and the new one on the right, just showing off how they each work, and how the running lights and the turn signals work together. So overall, it came out good. I'm really happy. So the only thing left to do is the best part of any Ariel Atom project, that is the test drive. So enjoy. that's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.